I'm going to shoot it 5 rounds, going kind of quickly, and just see how it groups on target. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to speak about this pistol here. This is the Springfield Omega 10 millimeter 1911 style pistol. There are almost no videos about this pistol online, and the ones that are out there basically is just a couple of guys banging away with it, and then that's all you get. There's no real explanation of the pistol. So there's a couple things about this pistol I don't like, and some things that I do like, and that's my honest assessment. So we're going to start, obviously, at the front and work our way to the rear. This pistol does not have a bushing. The barrel fits directly to the slide. It head spaces off of the breech, however, so it can be a little loose in the front end because it has a cant to it, and it settles in off the front of the slide. It is a 6-inch 10 millimeter with 2 ports, one on either side. Partridge front, fully adjustable, Peter Stahl rear. Peter Stahl built the uppers for these, sent them over to Springfield. Springfield then turned around and mounted them on a mil-spec frame. I think that Springfield robs this pistol of its potential, and I'll tell you why. Peter Stahl is a custom builder, so this is a custom upper, and it kind of looks the part, right? It looks the part, it feels the part. There's some really cool, innovative stuff, like you've got the 6-inch ported barrel. It is not a linked barrel like a 1911. It cams, I'll show you in another video, it cams off of a shelf on the guide rod system, and that interfaces with the underside of the barrel, which then unlocks the barrel, drops it down, and slide goes rearward. It has 2 extractors, one on that side, one on that side. Pretty cool innovation. I was worried that maybe I was going to get doinked in the face with brass. That never happened. It ejected and extracted as it should, right? It did have a couple feeding issues. So with Springfield, they're just slapping shit together, especially back when this thing was a product. So they get this custom upper, they just slap it on one of their mil-spec lowers. Boom, you got an Omega 10. It's a good looking gun. The bluing is nicely done, right? It's a nice looking pistol. The ports are very efficient. So I was expecting that it was going to jump. It didn't. It's just sharp, short. It doesn't behave like a 10 millimeter, which is pretty cool. The way that Springfield robs this pistol is in this trigger. So they slap it on a mil-spec lower, they get a mil-spec trigger, mil-spec hammer, mil-spec sear, etc., etc. They also have the mil-spec spring set, super heavy. And I get why they did it, but it robs the pistol. The trigger is actually pretty clean. It's really clean, but it's really heavy. It's almost 7 pounds. It's a couple ounces shy of 7 pounds, between 6 3/4 and 7 pounds. So you're trying to maximize accuracy at 25 yards. Man, that's hard to do when you're yanking a 7-pound trigger. I had some groups where I paid attention to what I was doing, and everything felt right, came off right. And I had, 2.5 to 3 inch groups at 25, which was very cool. But man, a solid trigger job and new trigger components would really do this pistol justice. Also, I had some failures to feed. So this pistol would benefit heavily from a reliability job and action work. I'm struggling with the idea of modifying the pistol because it is all original. And, do I just blow it out as a full custom? and just go balls to the wall, or do I keep it original, because there are very few of these left in their original configuration that aren't beat to shit or modified, right? So continuing on the theme, right? We've got a 6-inch ported barrel, 6-inch long slide. This is a very beefy slide. It sits much taller than a standard 1911. We talked about the locking block mechanism of the barrel itself. The sights are very cool in theory. You've got this partridge front. It is removable. There's a screw out front. You back that screw out. You can pull it out, put something else in. And then you have this fully adjustable rear. That's kind of where the coolness ends with these. This partridge front is super wide. I mean, it's a really fat front sight. So it kind of takes away from being able to produce high levels of accuracy. I prefer a much thinner front sight if I'm going to be doing precision work at distance. And the rear, while it is fully adjustable for windage and elevation, the adjustments are not click adjustments. You're just kind of unscrewing or screwing in. So there's no precision to the adjustment. That you can go as fine or as rough as you want. But I would prefer a click adjustment on that. As far as the frame itself goes, there's really not a lot to talk about, right? It's a typical Springfield mil-spec frame, mil-spec rear safety, arched mainspring housing, mil-spec short trigger, which I'm not a fan of, and a super heavy trigger set. The weight is set very heavily. Another thing that Springfield, I think, falls short on is the back of the frame and slide are just not, they're not even. They're not mated up even close. If you can get a good look at that. There's a good bit of overhang there. And that is one of my pet peeves. I don't know if you can get good looks at that, guys. Try not to point it out myself, even though we all know it's unloaded. But that's one of my pet peeves, man, is if the back of the frame and slide don't mate up. And this one probably has almost 1/8 of an inch where the slide sits back from the frame. So if I'm going to blow this thing out as a full custom, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify the width of that partridge front sight, make it thinner. I'm going to mate the back of the frame and slide, probably refit a new ejector, just because the gapping on this one is pretty wild. But it worked, right? But there's just a big fat gap between the slide and the ejector. And then I would, fit a beaver tail safety, full ignition kit, new back strap, probably checker the front strap, and then smooth everything out. And it would really be something pretty freaking awesome at that point. But yeah, if you're not going to do all that work to one of these, reliability job, number 1. Number 2, trigger. This thing will benefit from those heavily. When going slow at distance, no problems, right? No failures to feed, none of that. When you start trying to run the gun, that's when it just bogs down on you. So could have been a magazine issue, but I don't think so. Based on my assessment, this thing just needs a little bit of a reliability job. And that's really all I have about talking about the pistol. It is a really cool gun because you never see them. I've never seen one until I bought this one. And it does a really nice job with the 10mm, just keeping it calm, right? You're banging a 10 mil, but it doesn't break your wrist or anything weird. So very cool. Like I said, things I like about it, things I don't like about it. It is what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're shooting Springfield Omega 10mm. Okay. Never shot this pistol before, and there are very few videos of this pistol on the internet. So enjoy. Man, that porting makes it very, very manageable. Really nice shooting gun. So let's shoot some groups. All right, one more 5-round group at 7, and then I'm going to take it out to 25 and make sure the sights are zeroed at 25. And if they're not, then I'll zero them, because I don't think you should shoot a 10 millimeter this goddamn close. You're ripping yourself off. Five more. $25 again. Okay. So the group isn't bad at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's actually a fucking really good group, about 3 inches or so. It's a little right. So let me adjust those sights. I mean, it's all right. So it was at 10. It's okay. Centered, zeroed, all that good stuff. All right, we're gonna see if she'll run fast. Yep. Okay. Just take it. I know I yanked one real bad. So there, that guy. And there's 4. I could easily tighten that up. There was one malfunction though. So we'll sort that out.